Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most epic and well-known stories ever told, the story of Noah. It's more than just a tale about a big boat and a lot of animals. It's a profound story about faith, obedience, and a fresh start for humanity. Thousands of years ago, the world was a very different place. The book of Genesis describes it as a time of great wickedness. Humanity had strayed far from its intended path, and the world was filled with corruption and violence. It was a bleak picture, a world that had forgotten its creator. But in the midst of all this darkness, there was one beacon of light, a man named Noah. The Bible tells us that Noah was a righteous man, blameless among the people of his time, and he walked faithfully with God. This is a huge statement. Imagine living in a society where everyone around you is making poor choices, yet you remain steadfast in your principles. That was Noah. He had a deep personal relationship with God, a connection that set him apart from everyone else on earth. Because of this unique bond, God chose Noah for an immense and unprecedented task. God saw the state of the world and was grieved. He decided to bring a great flood to cleanse the earth of its corruption, to essentially hit the reset button. But he didn't want to wipe out humanity entirely. He saw hope in Noah and his family. So God came to Noah with a set of instructions that must have sounded absolutely unbelievable. He told Noah to build a massive ark, a gigantic floating vessel, and the dimensions were incredibly specific: 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high. To give you some perspective, that's about 450 feet long, 75 feet wide, and 45 feet high. Think of a modern-day cargo ship. This was a colossal undertaking, especially for one man and his family in a pre-industrial age. God's instructions didn't stop there. He told Noah to build it with specific gopher wood and to coat it inside and out with pitch to make it waterproof. It was to have 3 decks, with rooms inside and a single door on its side and a roof. This wasn't just a simple boat. It was a carefully designed vessel, meant to withstand a cataclysmic event. And then came the most famous part of the instructions. Noah was to bring his wife, his 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and their wives into the ark. But they wouldn't be alone. God commanded Noah to bring 2 of every kind of living creature, male and female, to keep them alive. For the clean animals, those suitable for sacrifices, and for the birds, he was to bring 7 pairs of each. He also had to gather and store enough food for his family, and for all the animals for a very long time. Can you imagine what Noah's neighbors thought? Here's this man, in the middle of dry land, building a gigantic boat. There was no ocean in sight. People must have mocked him, ridiculed him, and called him crazy. The Bible doesn't detail these interactions, but it's easy to picture the scene. Yet through it all, Noah's faith never wavered. Genesis says, Noah did everything just as God commanded him. He didn't question. He didn't hesitate. He simply obeyed. This act of faith in the face of public ridicule is one of the most powerful aspects of the story. For years, Noah and his family labored, cutting wood, shaping beams, and sealing the massive structure. They gathered animals from all corners of the land, a logistical feat that seems impossible without divine help. Finally, after all the long years of preparation, the day came. Noah, his family, and every creature, 2 by 2, boarded the ark. Once they were all safely inside, the Bible says that God himself shut the door. This act symbolizes that their safety was now in God's hands. The time for decision was over. The judgment was about to begin. 7 days after they entered the ark, the floodgates of the heavens opened, and the springs of the great deep burst forth. It began to rain, and it didn't stop. For 40 days and 40 nights, rain poured down relentlessly upon the earth. The water level rose higher and higher, covering the valleys, then the hills, and finally, even the highest mountains. Everything on dry land that had the breath of life in its nostrils perished. Only Noah and those with him in the ark survived. The ark, once a symbol of Noah's seemingly foolish project, was now their salvation. It was lifted by the rising waters and floated safely above the submerged world. For 150 days, the waters prevailed upon the earth. Imagine being inside that vessel, tossed about on a boundless ocean with the sounds of countless animals, feeling the immense power of the water all around you. It must have been both terrifying and awe-inspiring. But God did not forget Noah. After 150 days, God sent a wind to blow over the earth, and the waters began to recede. The springs of the deep and the floodgates of the heavens were closed, and the rain stopped. The ark drifted for months until finally it came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. Even though they had landed, the world was still covered in water. Noah waited. After 40 days, he opened a window and sent out a raven, which flew back and forth until the water had dried up from the earth. Then he sent out a dove. The first time, the dove returned, finding no place to rest its feet. Noah waited another 7 days and sent the dove out again. This time it returned in the evening with a freshly plucked olive leaf in its beak. This was the sign Noah had been waiting for. It was proof that the water had receded enough for new life to begin. The olive branch has since become a universal symbol of peace and new beginnings. After another 7 days, Noah sent the dove out one last time, and it did not return. The earth was ready. When Noah removed the covering of the ark, he saw that the surface of the ground was dry. A new, clean world awaited them. Then God spoke to Noah again, saying, "Come out of the ark, you and your wife, and your sons, and their wives. Bring out every kind of living creature that is with you, so they can multiply on the earth, and be fruitful, and increase in number on it." So Noah, his family, and all the animals disembarked onto the renewed earth. The very first thing Noah did upon leaving the ark was build an altar to the Lord. He took some of the clean animals and birds and offered them as a burnt offering on the altar. This was an act of worship, of immense gratitude and thanksgiving for their deliverance. God was pleased with this offering, and he made a covenant, a solemn promise, not just with Noah, but with all of humanity and every living creature. For all generations to come, he promised that never again would he destroy all life with the waters of a flood. And as a sign of this everlasting covenant, God set a rainbow in the clouds. He said, "Whenever I bring clouds over the earth, and the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will remember my covenant between me and you, and all living creatures of every kind." From that day forward, the rainbow has been a beautiful, powerful reminder of God's promise, faithfulness, and grace. The story of Noah concludes with God blessing Noah and his sons. They were given a second chance, guided by the lessons of the past and the promise of the future. So what can we take away from this incredible story? The importance of obedience, even when we don't understand the full picture. It's also a powerful story of God's judgment on sin. But every time you see a rainbow, remember the story of Noah. Thanks so much for watching with us today.